Hey there, friends. I hope you're doing well. I'm Laura. Today, we're going to be knocking out a few Slayer tasks while I talk about my experiences in other MMOs. I'll also be farming vampires for ranged XP in Mauritania because I'm working towards unlocking the Mithril crossbow. So grab a tea, your favorite hoodie, and let's dive in. I wanted to take this episode to talk about something personal to me, which is why I came back to Old School RuneScape and why it means so much to me. Like a lot of y'all, I started RuneScape back in the golden era of the early 2000s. I'd rush home from school, microwave a plate of pizza bagels, then hop online to burn fish, mine copper, and get scammed because it was 2003 and we trusted people back then. As I got older, other games gradually took RuneScape's place as the game that I thought about all day while I was at school and then at work because capitalism. At 19, I got into World of Warcraft, mostly because of that South Park episode. I think it was like Make Love Not Warcraft or something like that. But I started in Wrath of the Lich King and I got hooked hard. I spent months grinding levels on my Blood Elf Hunter. I got to endgame and started raiding, joined a guild and chatted with them on Vent. Oh god, I'm really showing my age there, huh? And eventually I wound up as a guild leader myself. We were the remnants of the original guild that I joined that had broken apart when the couple that ran it split up, stole everything from the guild bank, and logged off forever. You know, just typical guild stuff. The guild is a lie, and my tenure as its guild mother-in-chief lasted about a year or two, but eventually Mists of Pandaria came out, and the world I'd come to love just felt wrong. The game became this grindy, bloated mess that felt like a second job, so I canceled my subscription and I dipped. After that, I mostly played single-player games like The Witcher 3, which inspired my first tattoo, Persona 5, Stardew Valley, things like that. But every now and then, I'd get this itch to play an MMO, so I bounced around a few over the years, trying to scratch that itch. It sort of felt like trying to find a comfy pair of shoes. I'd try some on, and they'd be comfy for a little while, but then they'd start to get pinchy and decidedly uncomfy, so I'd take them off and quit. I played Guild Wars 2 with my brother, and I was happy there for a few months. It had style, great mechanics, no monthly subscription, and jump puzzles. But eventually, I got bored of just running endless boss trains to get drops, and I kind of threw in the towel, and then so did he. I played Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn for a summer with my partner after that, and we were pretty hooked on the world itself, the player-driven economy, the graphics, the story. I distinctly recall a 14-hour session where all I did was click a sign in the player housing district trying to buy a house plot that was about to go up for sale sometime within the next 24 hours. I ate a lot of pizza, drank a lot of Monster, and kept myself awake watching Ghibli movies. I eventually got the house plot, but a month after that, the game just kinda lost my interest. I tried Path of Exile because it was free, reminded me of Diablo, and also because I love dungeon crawlers. However, the constant pressure of seasonal leagues made it feel like a job, and no matter how much I played, it was never enough to keep up. And I didn't want to race, I just wanted to play, so I quit that too. After that came a brief stint playing Albion Online, because as I said, I love player-driven economies, and I'm a gatherer and a skiller. But eventually, the competition for resources in yellow zones and the painfully slow XP gains there grew really frustrating. Locking high-level resources and better XP rates in high-risk PvP zones, forcing people to PvP to get access to them? Yeah, no thanks. Bye, Felicia. Eventually, I got to Brighter Shores, and that is a game I still actually play while I'm playing Old School RuneScape. I absolutely love it. It's niche as hell, and grinding is basically all you do, but it's just so satisfying to the part of my brain that craves number go up. And eventually, after a decade and a half exploring games like Skyrim, Fallout 4, Days Gone, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Shin Megami Tensei 5, I came right back here. Back to Gielinor. And it felt like coming home. It was like a bowl of soup on a cold day, or putting on the most dingy old shoes you own, not because they look good, but because they're unbelievably comfortable. There was no pressure from the game to succeed. No battle passes, no forced heroic narrative, just small goals, small joys, and a wonderfully weird world that I just couldn't get enough of. What truly brought me back, though, were the creators on YouTube that I stumbled on. Jimmy, Settled, Idle, Josh Strife Hayes. They made this game come alive. Like, not in a loud, hype-driven way, but in a nostalgic, thoughtful, human way. Watching them sing the praises of the game and its developers showed me how much the game I loved as a kid had grown and evolved through community input. Something that is extremely rare in the MMO genre. They made me want to come back. They brought me home. Before we move on to what I love about Old School RuneScape, here's a montage of the things I do when not recording for videos. Enjoy.
Mr. Worldwide, back at your home. Let's get this thing jumping. Hold up. 3, 2, 1, let's go now. We are pull up to the party, jumping. It's a cool up twerking, jumping. Too late, I can't stop jumping. Todo mundo brincando, jumping. It's a birthday, girl, get it jumping. Dale loca, toma, jumping. Dale loca, toma, jumping. Another way to jumping, party, jumping.
Alright, musical interlude over, back to the content. So for context, I'm 35, I have no kids, just pets, and I have both autism and ADHD. For me, watching YouTube, playing other games, and running agility course laps until my eyes bleed is peak enjoyment. Old School RuneScape works with my brain, not against it. Repetitive loops, small goals that build into bigger goals, which funnel into huge overarching goals, is like a dopamine goldmine for me. Devs that have kept their word to players is also a big reason why I'm back. Because to them, we're not just numbers on a quarterly earnings report, and that means everything. The polling system, now that they've learned how to do it effectively, is awesome, and it makes me feel like my vote matters, that my opinion is wanted, that I'm wanted in a way. That's a very empowering, comforting feeling to a person who feels insignificant a lot of the time. The lack of ads and microtransactions is another thing that the devs got right. They've kept the game the way I remembered it back when I was a slightly thinner pizza bagel devouring gremlin. I love that Old School RuneScape has resisted adding cosmetics and transmogs to the game, not because I hate fun, but because gear here actually means something. When you see someone walking around in full bandos or wielding a dragon warhammer, you're not just seeing pixels, you're seeing their journey, their grind, their story. Even if they bought that stuff on the GE, they still had to earn the levels to be able to wear it. They had to grind for the gold to buy it. They had to spend the time, put in the effort. Nothing in Old School RuneScape comes easy, and that's what sets it apart from other MMOs. That's what makes it special. Transmogs and paid cosmetics strip all that meaning away. If anyone can just throw money at a flashy skin, then gear no longer reflects effort and shared experiences, it just reflects individual wealth. I've had that experience my whole life, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. Like, I've been that poor kid on the playground with the knockoff Tamagotchi while the other kids had 5 name brand Tamagotchis, okay? And that shit is not fun. Games are where we escape these feelings of inequality, not where we go to relive them. This brings me to something else that I really enjoy about Old School RuneScape, and that is the respect that I feel playing it, both from the devs and from the game itself. If I log off for a week, I don't fall behind, I don't lose my house, I don't get an email asking why I didn't complete my dailies, I just come back and pick up where I left off. For me, that consistency means a lot. Because I love grinding. I love slow, incremental development. I love knowing what to expect and what is expected of me. That expectation in Old School RuneScape is that I have fun. And I do that all the time. To a lot of people, go kill 100 crawling hands for me might sound like a chore, but to me, it's offering clarity. It's offering focus, a goal. It's comfort because I chose to set that as my task. It wasn't forced on me, it was of my own choosing. And my love of the game is ultimately why I started making this content in the first place, because the game made me feel so connected to the players around me. The reason I felt so connected is because the playing field is level across all players. The experience is shared. The game provided me as a returning player with something that I had been looking for in other MMOs, which is a sense of belonging. I felt this to such an extent that I wanted to share my silly goals and adventures with all of you guys. I wanted to give back to a community that didn't belittle me for being new, but instead embraced me and offered me guidance and support. Making content lets me integrate my passion for writing, art, and just sharing my goofy thoughts in videos to hopefully bring others to a game that made me enjoy playing and just existing within it. It's not about chasing clout or trying to become the next Settled or Jimmy. It's just about sharing my weird, cozy little Gielinor life with others who might feel the way I do. A little burned out, a little overstimulated, and deeply grateful for a place to call home when real life is just too much to handle. So, if you're new here, maybe you're a WoW refugee looking for something with a little less pressure and more charm, welcome. If you've been away for over a decade or more and you're seeking that sense of nostalgia, welcome back. You're in good company. Because the community here is like no other that I've found in any other MMO. I have met some of the kindest, funniest people just like bank standing at the GE or fishing. Like, some of y'all just vibe, okay? There's people that'll strike up conversations about goals they're trying to achieve, or what quests they're working on, or like even just like choice sandwiches that they've eaten. And that's where the soul of RuneScape lies for me. It's quiet, unobtrusive companionship. If you want to fish or stand at the bank talking about sandwiches, you're my kind of person and you're welcome here. So, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for letting me share my silly goals, my stories, and my thoughts with you. I'm truly glad that you're here. If you resonated with anything in this video, consider dropping a like. It really helps the channel grow and reach others just like us. Let me know what goals you're working towards in the game down in the comments, and if you're new, maybe subscribe so we can keep each other company as we wander, skill, and vibe our way through Old School RuneScape. One silly little goal at a time. And until next time, my friends, stay weird, stay cozy, and keep leveling.